My name is Calvin Rodgers. I love Jross-tv.
What's up, y'all? Sitting here with my boy Calvin, y'all. But I got to say something, man. He always on that phone, but he don't ever call nobody back.
You got to text me, man.
No, I can't read. But hey, Cal, we was talking a minute ago. Now you was in there, and like all the other musicians gravitate towards you, but they won't say anything. Now, how do you feel about stuff like that?
If I see somebody that look like they want to speak or they don't really know what to say, I just speak to them. I've been in that position, before. Strangely enough, I think a few years ago, I was at Kojic in Memphis, and it was my first time meeting Mike and Jimmy Newble, and I just did not, I stood there, I was talking to Mike, and I was talking to Mike Burrell, and then Jimmy Newble walked up, and I was just like, wow. And then Mike Newble walked up right behind. I'm like, oh man. And so they walked away, and I didn't really know what to say. So I just went back up to them, and I was just like, man, listen, I got to come up to y'all, man, And so, and they were really nice, you know what I'm saying? But, I know how that is. I know how that feels sometimes, and guys, sometimes, when you at these conventions, if you working, if everybody doesn't know how to approach you. So I just be like, if I see somebody, which happens a lot, if I see somebody and I can say they don't really know what to say or they don't know me, I just speak to them, say what's up, and introduce myself,
Now, being the top cat, being the top drummer around here in America on them skins for gospel, do you find yourself wondering like, what's next for me? Lord, where you gonna take me next?
Oh man, I'm always in prayer about what I'm doing next, and as a musician, you gotta be smart, you gotta be disciplined. So I've been in situations where I'm like, man, what's gonna happen? But now I'm kind of at a place where I see God's hand of direction, and I see how He's moving things around, and kind of set me up. So I'm just in a season of where I'm just allowing the Lord to just do His thing. I don't really worry about what I can or can't do. What I'm saying? I'm just really kind of focused on, while I'm waiting, for God to do whatever He's going to do, whatever his plan is. I'm just trying to make sure I'm ready for it, All
right, now before you blew up and everything, when you were just on the set and you learning and everything, like your practice regiment was like what? To say, man, did you have a particular drummer?
That I studied?
Yeah.
I studied a lot of drummers, of course. Anybody that knows me knows that two drummers that are very detrimental. If I had to say three drummers, I have to say three drummers are extremely important to whatever or whoever I am. That's Joel Smith, Teddy Campbell, and Dave Weckl. Those are probably my three favorite drummers. And then I've got a lot of drummers in Chicago that I sat up under that were influences on me. Guys like Clyde Davis, who does a lot of smooth jazz stuff, but at one point in the late '80s. Was did a lot of gospel stuff and was very, very popular and is an incredible player. Then you got guys like Oscar Seaton, who took me under his wing for a few years before he moved to LA. Felix Pollard, who sold into me, So I studied with those guys a lot, and when I used to work with those guys, I would work with them, and then I would go home and I would work by myself. And man, for years before I was playing with anybody, For years before I was playing with anybody, I would be at home practicing all day, every day. I'm not an athlete, or I wasn't a street kid really, what I'm saying? So for the most part, I was on the drums,
Now most cats, man, do you feel that they can make money in this game?
There are, as the years go by, I see that there are a lot more opportunities for this generation and every generation that comes behind. I remember, my dad is a musician and an incredible one, and I remember talking to my dad about, when I was a kid, about saying, man, I want to play drums full time. And my dad was like, Calvin, that's a rarity. That doesn't really happen, because it wasn't common in his day. It was just like getting into the league. It was just like getting into the NBA. Now, more guys go to the league. More guys, there are more opportunities because people come looking for musicians, and they come looking for them really out of church guys. You tell guys you play at church, they most of the time they want to hear you. So, I think there are good opportunities for young musicians. And then there's so many ways to market yourself. There's YouTube, there's DVDs, Jross-tv, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff.
Man, I'm going to tell y'all, boy, when I get swept up, when Sony buy me out, Man, I ain't returning no phone calls. Hey, y'all, we at the coaching convention, 104th in St. Louis. Got the main cat himself, Calvin Rodgers. We're going to get him bounce up out of here, y'all. He got to go and get ready to do what he do best. We out, y'all. Jross-tv, 10 million strong. Peace.
Peace.